The average time between being hacked and realizing you've been hacked is 1 year. Can you afford to let an intruder roam your network for that long? Can your company weather the fallout when this comes to light? Black Hills Information Security can find the bad guys in your network and train you to do it yourself. Email consulting@blackhillsinfosec.com to find out how a hunt teaming engagement can help you find a persistent threat in your network. Signal Sciences is the industry's first web protection platform that works in any cloud, any container, any platform as a service, and any modern application architecture. The Signal Sciences web protection platform can be deployed in next-generation WAF, RASP, or reverse proxy modes, giving customers ultimate flexibility and coverage. Protect your web applications with Signal Sciences web protection platform. Signal Sciences, securing code and connecting teams. For more information, check them out at signalsciences.com/ESW. Has your network been breached? Cybereason can help you answer this question. Cybereason products hunt for threats within your network and eliminate them in real time. To Cybereason, real time means within seconds. Founded by former military hackers who don't play by the rules, they've built this experience into their platform. Harness ingenuity and imagination, not just code, to defeat attackers. Cybereason, disrupt the adversary and let the hunt begin. Welcome back, everyone, to Paul's Security Weekly. Make sure you come check out Wild West Hacking Fest. It's put on by Red Team Specialists for anybody and everybody interested in information security. Join us on October 27th and 28th for hands-on hardware hacking talks by famous infosecers like Dave Kennedy, Deviant Egypt, Chris Nickerson, Chris Gates, Mike Poore, and Sub T, and more.
Paul Asadorian, Larry Pesci, Geoff Thayer.
Check us out at wildwesthackingfest.com, HACKIN Fest.
And for the record, the Buck and Bronco rider logo is awesome.
With John's trans face photoshopped on?
I was going to say, look at the face.
Yes.
It's
that there is, I won't give it away, but there's some more interesting logo stuff going on. So you need to show up. It's going to be fun.
Hopefully it doesn't involve...
It's going to be huge.
Huge. It's going to be huge and bigly.
John on a horse.
bad.
Moses Hernandez is here with us. Moses is a consulting systems engineer at Cisco and an instructor for the penetration testing courses at SAN. Moses, welcome to the show.
Hey, Paul. How's it going? Hey, Larry.
It's going
right.
Hey, so you're going to talk about finding Node.js. Like, I did a Google search, and I found it. And is that end of second? No.
It's at node.js.com. What?
Yeah. Well, so it turns out that I was running we're talking about WordPress and Slack and all these different applications, and in actually me running WordPress, the latest WordPress, I was running a vulnerability scanner on my box one day, and I realized I'm running Node.js all over the place. And so I've been doing this kind of awareness talk for everybody that attends SANS where I'm training, really focusing on Node.js on the desktop. And so I took that talk, I cut it up into pieces, and I kind of red teamed it a little bit. So it's really about awareness of the fact that the Node.js that's running on the server is running desktop side. And not just that, there's old remnants of Node.js running, and there's vulnerabilities around it. And there's actually, the demo that I'll show you is bypassing sandbox blocking, or whether it's Microsoft software restriction policy or app blocker, using the Node.js that's installed right on your box.
No, so wait, I thought Node.js was basically server-side JavaScript.
Yes, it is. But the server is running on your box, and we'll kind of talk about how that kind of works.
Wait, so the server's running on my...
running on the box?
Yeah, it's running on my...
So let me kind of fast forward this to you. So
okay, if you want to just make that, can you make that full screen? Can you go to presentation mode? Yeah.
Moses can make it full screen.
Hold on, I'll make it full screen.
There you go.
Right,
there we go. All right.
So by the way, my words. All right, so we'll move on. This was my best impersonation of a Kendrick Lamar album, so I thought I'd throw that out there. But I thought, yeah, there you go. So this is the actual talk, right? Now, I was having lunch with some of the other authors of 642, because I actually authored 2 of the days of the advanced web app pen testing course. And I told them that Node.js was basically like if Java on the desktop and PHP had a love child. That's Node.js today.
Gotcha. That's very, very, very well done. Well done. I like it.
Yeah. So that's the premise. So this is the story time, right? This is me looking and seeing a Node.dll running on my box, running an old version
so
of
when you say your box, you mean the client with the web browser?
Yeah, my
Web
Windows
server.
computer. My Windows computer has a file on it running the Node.dll, okay? That is actually Node.js server-side JavaScript that used to be called Node.exe, running an old version, from a couple months ago. Yeah, yes, it's very sad. So let me explain what this is. This is server-side JavaScript, right? We talk about it, and a lot of hipster web applications run it. But really, it's a framework that usually is built on something called Electron. Okay, so if you're running any one of these kind of client desktop applications, what the GitHub folks decided to do was say, hey, you know what? We could take Node.js, we could package it with Chrome. We can actually deliver a cross-platform experience across all the desktops by having JavaScript server-side being rendered right on your own box.
You mean to tell me?
So wait,
wait. So you mean to tell me when I run the Slack app on my Mac, I'm running Chrome and Node locally?
You're running Node.js for sure. Chrome doesn't have to be there, but you're running Node.js for sure.
So we made a framework for running JavaScript on the server
side, but now we're going to run it on the client.
That's correct, and they're basically
the client
standing
becomes
up
a server.
Web server. Yeah,
right.
So you're
Good.
So the client.
So I wonder where this is going.
Yeah. So there's already been bugs. Travis Ormandy, you gotta love when he finds a bug.
Or not.
Yeah. He disclosed a couple of bugs on the Trend Micro framework a few months ago, where if you're running Trend Micro desktop antivirus and you were running their password manager, which came by default, it stood up it wasn't even Electron. It was just straight up Node.js listening on a local socket to provide the password manager. And of course, it actually provided command execution. So all you had to do was send JavaScript, like an actual cross-site scripting that told it to launch the local host. And well, he had calc, but you can imagine it could have been anything. So this is an actual problem. This is an actual big problem. I'll show you how you can find it and abuse it. But this is fun. This is a lot of fun. So Electron is cross-platform desktop apps with JavaScript, HTML, CSS, the whole thing. Right? Nothing can go wrong here. Now, this is what started my part of the talk. So I talk about abusing Node.js in many ways. But for this tech segment, I'm focusing in on this one blog posting. So if anybody's not read this, this came out April 20th. And basically, if you're running an NVIDIA driver, now, Larry, Paul, are any of you guys running NVIDIA drivers potentially on a Windows machine?
I don't personally run Windows except in a VM, but on some of our systems here in the studio, they do have NVIDIA drivers.
Yeah. So if you're running the GeForce Experience, okay, that's the NVIDIA updater, it runs Node.js. And in this blog post, they show you very eloquently how to take Node.js, and this is part of their blog post, right? They say, hey, here's your Node.js. Here's a whole different version than the one I showed you. It's a newer version. And it's the NVIDIA webhelper.exe, but the original file name is node.exe, sadly enough. And here is a command that you can run that basically brings in the child process, which basically is like Python's popen, forks out calc, and then passes it through the NVIDIA process in interactive mode, and it bypasses AppLocker, right? So I was curious. I was like, yeah, I'm running different applications. I'm running Atom. Can I show you that? So anybody that's ever taken a class with me knows that I run Emacs as my desktop. I know.
I liked you.
Get him off the show right now.
I liked you right up until this point, Moses.
I know.
All right. The only saving grace is, please, Moses, please tell me that you do not run Emacs as your default shell under Linux.
Yes, but I've changed. I've changed.
He's maturing.
I'm actually now running a shell Node.js process. All right. So the Atom text editor has been my replacement for Emacs because I'm a neckbeard hipster and this is what we do. So this is Atom, right? Now it does run cross-platform. So let me show you kind of my current software restriction policy. So if you try to run MS Paint, from here, you see I really can't. It's blocked. Even if you run it here, you just can't. It's just not available, right? So if you're going to be doing any of this kind of work, you're going to want to see if somebody's actually got Node.js installed. We'll talk about how you find the DLLs and the appropriate things out there. But for easy bake oven purposes, let me just show you the exact command that you can run to kind of bypass this.
If you're showing a command, you got to make it bigger, Moses.
Oh yeah, we got it. That's right. I forgot. My Mac is like one of those crazy ones. This is Windows.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy because you use Emacs.
Windows guys, give me a second. This is all crazy. How do I make Windows?
We seem to have this. We had this problem last week.
You're in. Yeah.
How do I make Windows cooperate? Oh, never.
Oh, here we go.
Control plus. Control.
There it is.
There you go.
It is.
Oh, look at that.
Control Shift plus. Oh, that's Linux. Never mind.
Anyway, so in my particular system, one of the things we'll talk about is where some of these applications are installed. And so lucky, Atom, to make it easier for everybody, it's installed right on the user's profile. And so is Slack, by the way, Larry, just so that, of course, you don't want any kind of restrictions. You want users to install stuff. So here's Atom. Hold on. Atom.
Because you need a text editor to get to your text editor.
Yeah, of course. And this is how we find the application.
This is how an Emacs user starts Atom.
Yeah.
You are going to get endless rations of crap from me on this.
That's fine. I actually want to let everybody know that I do not mind my operating system is a text editor and vice versa. So we're good with that. So here's how you would start it, and here's MS Paint running, right? So what we did was we started Emacs. We started Node.js because the Node executable is delivered with Atom. We started Node in interactive mode, just like you would start Python in an interactive shell. And all we did was we piped in required child process and execute MS Paint silently in the background.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, my God.
And that's it. And that bypasses things.
Because I don't use a real editor like VI, I've installed Atom, and because I installed Atom, it's bundled with Node.js, which should be run on the server, not the client. It's vulnerable to command injection, essentially.
It's not command injection, but it's definitely bypassing software restrictions, right?
Gotcha.
It's not respecting. Now you can run a newer version of Node.js, okay, that will respect software restrictions.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can run it, right? But the problem is, and this is the other part I wanted to kind of talk about, as you're going through your engagements and you realize, okay, well, they're running server-side JavaScript in order to, it's really not replacing the server. It's really not doing that. What it's doing is it's just making it easier for you to program a front end. Think about it. Everybody's front end is JavaScript today, right? So all they're doing is replacing the network connectivity with it being on your local box. That's really all they're doing with this, right? So they're making it easier for developers to develop stuff. You can see how the WordPress guys said, hey, PHP, it's hard to build an editor. Let's just do it in Node.js. It's so much simpler. And yes, I know, it's so sad. Anyway.
Wait, I'm sorry. Go back, Moses. How does this intersect with WordPress again?
Oh yeah. So so WordPress.com has a desktop app.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah. So WordPress.com has a desktop app that they called Project Calypso. Mm-hmm. So I know you guys I heard the first segment. I know you guys ran WordPress. You're familiar with the original WordPress desktop app. They replaced all of that with this new version called Calypso, which is getting away from all that cruddy, horrible PHP stuff that they had to deal with. And now they got this desktop client. But unfortunately, the sad part is the desktop client is built in Node.js, which is probably
Okay. I got you.
it's so bad.
I'm with you now.
Bad, yeah. Yeah, it's so sad for them to have gotten to this point. So I know Larry's on a red team. So Larry, I mean, this is how I would approach it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got app blocker, some kind of software restriction policy. Can you do a bypass, right? So the first thing you're going to want to wonder is, we saw the Node.js, simplest way to do the Node.js, as long as you knew where the node exe is, if it was there, that would be one easy way of doing it, right? The issue is, how do I find some of these things? So you can actually look for a couple of artifacts besides node.exe that will help you identify that an application was written with some kind of a Node.js framework. One is, a lot of times, Node.js frameworks will have a directory called node_modules, where all the different node modules and node packages will live. So, for example, on my Mac, I use this command on the right here to look for all the node modules directories. And then what I did was I sorted it out by the actual name of the application, because you'll find files in there. And then so, on my box, it would look like just 2 files, if you will. Or you could look for the existence of common patterns, right? So on Windows, you could look for node.dll or node.exe. You might find that, or you can look for node modules as well, because that would exist in Windows. It would exist across platform. Once you found it, what you would probably want to do is some type of way of determining what version you're running to see if it's a vulnerable version. Looks like anything 6 and below is vulnerable to this, at least at the moment. So here's an example of me on my box finding the WordPress.com node.dll file, passing it some PowerShell, saying, hey, I want you to give me the property of that executable, which will show me the file version that's there. So some quick and easy ways of kind of determining where something is, so that you can actually get bypassing execution, if you will.
Yeah. No, so Moses, on the converse, thinking about this is that I know a lot of the really cool shit you do on Windows nowadays is all PowerShell based. And we're finding that many folks are trying to restrict the use of PowerShell on systems. So conceivably, if Node was there, you could, and a quote vulnerable version of Node packaged with an app, you could use Node interactively to execute PowerShell to bypass software restriction policies.
Absolutely.
Love your
Absolutely.
thinking, Larry. Love your thinking.
Yeah.
Bravo.
So
that
you,
was
you said,
epic.
so Larry, I know you're on a red team, and I'm like, yeah. You were saying that, I am texting the guys saying, "Fuck, you guys need to watch the show right now." I can confirm. Read the text. Fuck,
awesome.
Fuck, y'all need to watch this show with Moses right now.
Hold on. So here's some cool stuff that I think you also should think about.
Okay.
2 things that I'm currently working on that I'm not sure it's possible, but it's likely. Okay. One is Node.dll could be called from run.dll32 somehow to give you the interactive shell. So I'm working on a way to figure that part out. It's a little wonky because it's technically Node.exe, but it's packaged as a DLL. So it doesn't natively run without run.dll32, and so it's not perfect yet. But Node.dll could also run JS files. And so it's kind of like DLL hijacking, but it's like I could always like hot patch the JS files to run on my own. And, anything you can conceive of in JS, right, where it's packed or whatever, you could technically do. So you could use Node.exe in place of PowerShell, or in place of PowerShell.exe as a stager, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Just an alternative way of doing it. Just kind of ran out of runway to play around with this. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting way of abusing web services on your local host.
That's awesome. Moses,
the mushroom cloud just literally erupted over my head.
That was awesome, dude. Fantastic technical segment. Where can people find more information about this project? Do you have like a website or?
Yeah, well, I do. I blog on my own site. I blog on renegade.blog, or you can find me on Twitter, or I'll be teaching somewhere and always putting something in a class. So,
So
Awesome.
Absolutely.
To recap, the fix is update to the latest version of Node.
Correct.
if it's available.
Right.
If it's
Yeah, it depends on
available,
what they packaged with your application.
That's correct.
Right,
So
because if you do an install of Node locally, it won't necessarily patch all of the reference Node versions with your application.
WordPress clients and
By the way,
Slack.
Larry,
Well,
here's
let's not try to fix the problem or anything.
here's the other
So-
problem, Larry. I kind of skipped this, but I think you're going to find this. Remember, I mentioned Java on the desktop. What was the issue with Java on the desktop way back
It
when?
was slow.
Way back when, yeah, it was slow.
Oh, well, yeah.
Wait,
no,
even
that's
today
true.
it's slow?
Sure. But what was the issue with versioning?
You had to have like a billion versions to actually make many
Any application work?
many applications to run. So
Yeah,
they were all
so-
independent.
Yeah, so it turns out that even within the same application like Atom, you can have a littering of versions on the disk.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So the solution there is to use VI.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Sure. I'm going to go back to Emacs now.
Yeah, what you need to do is you need to actually publish a version of VI with Node.
Yeah.
This reminds me a lot. I love what you're doing, Moses. It reminds me a lot of the world of Java deserialization vulnerabilities, which is the same kind of issue where it's very, very difficult to patch because there's like different versions like scattered everywhere of the code, and you just can't get at the problem. So bravo, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I do have a Sans blog post going up in a few weeks here that talks about another issue in Node.js around buffer. So that should be fun too.
Awesome. Well, Moses, thank you very much for
You're
appearing
welcome.
on Paul Security Weekly. With that,
Yeah.
we are going to take a short break, come back, talk about security news for this week.